G'day YouTube, it's Brett here from Overtime Gaming once again. I hope you're all enjoying the series. We're back with some more FIFA 13 Newcastle Connected Career Mode series. And we've just come off a defeat by Tottenham 2-1. And we've got a bid accepted from Bayern Munich for Czech Tiote. So we're going up against Villa now, and it could well be Czech Tiote's last game as a Newcastle player. I doubt I'll play him in all honesty. He's been very unreasonable about how he spoke about the team lately, and doesn't really deserve a place in the side. The way he's trained lately, and the way he's reacted to movements by the manager. So he probably won't come on at all. And in all honesty, good riddance if he's going to act like that. I'm hoping I've sorted out the camera shaking today. Oh no, there it goes again. So no, I haven't sorted out the camera shaking. If anyone has any idea why my camera shakes like that, let me know. I think I may have an idea what it is, but whether I'm going to be able to sort it, I don't really know. You'll find out obviously if I can sort it. So we've got Villa today, and Villa are one of those teams we expect to get relegated this season, in all honesty. They've got a couple of decent players, but they're not stacked with decent ability at all. They've got Shea Given in goal, who's a very good keeper, but he's getting on in years now. So he's not at the top of his game anymore, in all honesty. They've got Darren Bent and Gabriel Agbonlahor up front, who are both good strikers, but again, Bent's getting on a bit and Agbonlahor's nothing special. So we should look for a win today. Hopefully a couple of goals as well. So this Newcastle attack needs to unleash a little bit, just to show the fans what they've got. And again, we're at home, we're at St James's Park again today. And as we look at the side, we've got Jeremy Adiadier and Jeffron up front still, Menez at the right, and Sissoko Cabaye in centre, Ben Arthur on the right, even Menez left, Debuchy, Mbawa, Sacco and Bakali at the back, with Ruffier in goal. As you look at that, now let's get the match underway. Ben Arthur should look to exploit this wing today. He's up against Bennett at the back. Now Villa are playing 5 men at the back, so they could shut. Oh my God, Moses Sissoko, 3rd minute goal. That is why Newcastle signed him. That was a beautiful strike. It came out of nowhere. Newcastle just looked like a nice slow start, just exploiting the space, and Moses Sissoko just rockets one into the top corner. There was no chance for Given to stop that. Even when he was back in a Newcastle shirt, he wouldn't have been able to stop that one. So Newcastle have their first lead of the season now, and it comes in the second week of the season, as they look to be probably the bottom dwellers in Aston Villa. So anyway, as we were saying, Newcastle should look to exploit the wings. Villa have got 5 men at the back, so it will be a bit tougher for Newcastle to attack straight down the middle, although the early attack there proved a little bit different. So they should look to attack down the wings, where they've got Ben Arthur and Menez going up against Bennett, and I'm not sure who the right back is. So that's a bit of a mismatch, in all honesty. As you can see there from that beautiful ball, Ben Arthur just outpaced Bennett, goes to take on the next man, but wins a throw-in. Now the mismatch is because Ben Arthur and Menez are both speedy players with a lot of skill with the ball at their feet. They both know how to dribble effectively, and they both know a lot of skill moves. Oof, Sissoko going for another one. He's been all over this defence so far today in the first 15 minutes. They just can't stop him. But then, for Newcastle to exploit the wings, they need good play from their 2 centre midfielders in Cabaye and Sissoko. And Sissoko has showed that already today. They need Cabaye's passing to be pitch perfect, so they play it down the wings. He can play the free balls to the 2 wingers to allow them to be in space. They also need Sissoko to add that little bit of attacking prowess, which he's shown so far, just so he draws attention from the 3 centre-backs to allow the wingers to have one-on-one down the wing. Now, if this doesn't happen, Newcastle might come into a bit of trouble when they're attacking with the ball, and as you can see, they're already being pressured up front. But Menez has got the ball now, and that's what you need to do. You need to give him the ball in space. Although he passed it this time, he can attack. And there you go. You see Ben Arthur in clear space. And he cuts back to put the ball in. And that's a beautiful ball. Given gets a hand on it, but if he if Gibbon doesn't get there, that's in. There's a man coming in at the back post, and that's going into the top corner. So Newcastle need to keep attacking like that today. And Brett Overtime has obviously told his players that's what he wants, and they're trying to exploit that. As you can see, they're exploiting down the wing again, and Ben Arthur's just outpacing the man. He's cutting back in this time. He's just creating space all over the pitch for his team. Sissoko and Kabay linking up well, and now Menez cuts in. Gives it to Sissoko again. He plays it to Kabay. Oh, it's a poor effort this time though. And Newcastle back on the back foot. Poor play by Villa today so far. They don't know what they're doing, it seems like. Their passing has been inaccurate. They have played decently defensively at points so far. There was the early mishap with the goal, but that did come out of nowhere. But they've intercepted a number of passes well today, but they're just not linking up well enough as the game goes on up the pitch, except for this drive. But then Darren Bent screws up the finish, so it becomes ineffective anyway. Now then, as Newcastle attack, we'll go into some transfer news. And if you've all seen from the previous week, Newcastle are interested in a number of French players, and there's rumours going about that Newcastle are actually looking to offload any non-French players. And this doesn't surprise me. You've seen their side, and they have just brought in more and more and more French players, and look to offload players that aren't, and even French-speaking players now. And I don't know the reasoning behind this, but one of the reasons I think is because French players are so cheap compared to buying within the Premier League. I mean, Newcastle are still, well, just finished living off the money they sold Andy Carroll for. And they've brought in a whole team, in all honesty, for that money. So if they can continue to exploit that, why won't they? There's a lot of fans over in here in England that, of course, will be in outrage because of it. And to be honest, I don't really blame them. They're not allowing young English players to grow or anything like that. But the fact is, why wouldn't they want to make the most of their money? They are a business, in all honesty, and businesses look to exploit places like China and stuff. So why wouldn't Newcastle look to exploit somewhere like France? Now, as you can see, it's half time now, and Newcastle are 1-0 up on Villa. It's a good score for Newcastle. They're looking for a couple more goals though within the half, just to show they are a team to be reckoned with this year. Let's just get underway as Villa lead the attack once again. Again, Newcastle's defence holds strong. They just look like they don't want to give up anything today. Just not letting players beat them. They're not being outpaced, not being outpassed. Just want to keep hold of the football today, Newcastle. And Moses Sissoko has been very strong in centre midfield today. Doesn't look like anyone can manhandle him today. He's just been cut out everywhere. Newcastle on the attack again. Newcastle looking a bit sloppy in the final third of the pitch. They've been fine defensively again. The only time they've been beat is there, and he was offside anyway. They've been brilliant in midfield. Strong play from both Kabay and Moses Sissoko especially. But it's just the last third, they just haven't looked as competitive. They tried passing it too much, rather than exploiting gaps and bursting in with Ben Arthur's pace and stuff like that. They've just tried passing their way in. They're playing very much Arsenal football, I would say, at the moment. And it's just not quite coming together. As you can see there was times where he could have cut back in and taken it himself, but he looks for the easy pass. I don't know whether this is something Overtime's told them, or whether it's something they're just doing by their own decisions. It's a hard one to call today. Newcastle are the better team on paper, and they've played the better team so far. But if they play like this against someone like Man United, and as we saw against Tottenham, they will get beat. It's simple. Although they came into their own last week in the second half, first half they looked awful, and as you can see, the players now are starting to beat their defence, but Ruffier's coming in and just mopping up anything that goes all over the place. It's fine. But again, if they play Man United like that, Rooney and Van Persie will tear them apart with pits like that. That's a brilliant goalkeeping decision by Ruffier there. But again, if Van Persie gets that when they play Man United, Van Persie will knock that past Ruffier and it will be a goal. and Newcastle will have to deal with this for the rest of the season. I expect Overtime to address this in practice through the week and when they look back at game film. But something needs to be done, otherwise we'll be suffering from a lack of decision making, in all honesty. That was a good idea there by Sissoko. He was looking for the through ball over the top of the defence to the breaking Ben Arthur down the side, and it was almost picture perfect. It was just a bit low and the defender was able to cut it off. Newcastle on the attack again now, but again they're trying to pass and no one wants to try and take on the man. They're cutting back in now, which is better, but then look, Debussy with a rocket of a shot. He goes quite wide, but why not make an effort? You're not getting into the box, so you may as well just smack it there. And to be honest, if that was on target, that was in, because there was no way Given was getting down to that. It was just too quick. He mustn't have seen it, in all honesty. And now we look, Menez is beating him down the wing. He gets pressured off the ball, but wins the free kick. So, as you can see, the only time the wing-backs are actually keeping up with the two wingers is if they force their way into it and use the physical aspects of their body. It's just not working. And this is a good ball. It's a good cross, but the attacker gets out-muscled by the defender, and Villa back on the attack now, and they're looking to counter-attack, and that's a lovely ball over the top. But Hadira's there to cut it out. There's no way that was getting through. Newcastle looking a bit weaker in centre midfield now. There's nothing they can do. The passing's got worse for Newcastle now. It's just all coming apart at the seams for Newcastle right now. They're not quite coping as well as they have been. They do get the ball over the top, to be fair, but still, the passing is just not as accurate here. And that's a poor effort by Kabay, a very poor effort by his standards. He should have been putting that in the back of the net. It's just not quite coming together for Newcastle today. They are winning 1-0, but they should be winning against a team like this by a lot more. Of course, they've got a game on Saturday as well, so they've got a 3-game week this week, in all honesty. And then, of course, Europa League's next week as well. So it's a tough couple of weeks for Newcastle. As you saw, another effort by Moses Sissoko there. He's played very well today. It's a substitute coming up for Aston Villa. I can't quite see who it is. It looks like Lopez. Newcastle strong at the back once again. They've not been out-muscled in the air today, which is very good for Newcastle. But again, the passing just comes apart slightly in the final third. There's not long left now. 2 extra minutes added on. Newcastle back on the defensive. Villa, Darren Bent was with a poor header, but somehow it's a corner. Villa sends Shea Given up there. Newcastle have to defend an extra man now. It's a nice defensive header by Sacco. Villa trying to get it back in, but Sissoko cuts it out and just plays it upfield, and there's the game. Newcastle get their first win under overtime. It's not an impressive win in all honesty, but still, a win's a win, and Newcastle have their first points of the season. They're no longer winless, they're no longer pointless. They've now got 3 points out of 2 games. And there's still a good result, in all honesty, for Newcastle. Moses Sissoko wins man of the match, which was expected. The performance he put in today was very important, especially the goal. So Newcastle win 1-0 at Aston Villa. So let's look at the rest of the scores for today. And it finished Stoke City 1 and Wigan Athletic 0. So both 2 low sides there, just a quiet game by the looks of things. A bit like here today, so nothing much happened. Oh, we got a transfer offer. FC Bayern, what have they said? They want to pay 9 million, not 9.5 for Tiote. Alright, I accept that, that's fine. 1809 is 1.5 million more than he's worth, and he's very unhappy with morale, so he can go. So, as we got that money coming in, we can sign a lot of the players that we're looking at. So, let's look. Toyota overlooked by manager. Overtime winning game number 2. Good. We'll look down that quickly. If you can read it, go ahead. I don't really care that much for it. So let's advance. We'll bring it up to the Chelsea game, and I'll play that in the next video before the European game. Transfer offer unacceptable by Sport Leverkusen for Terrell. So Terraval, sorry. So we'll match what they want. Fine with that. We need another centre back, and he's only 25, so I can bring him in. Montpellier, I'm guessing that's for their goalkeeper. They're not interested in a player and the money's not enough. Well, I still want to give them Steve Harper. So we'll give them how much he's worth and Steve Harper, see if that goes through. Red Bulls, loan to buy offer. I regret to inform you that they've decided we can't agree to this deal. Okay, well what if I just try and buy him for 2.5? We sold Tiote and they're giving us 7.5 back. Jeremy Morale, they want 1.9. We can't pay that right now. Let's look at other strikers then. See what's going about. Hopefully someone we're kind of interested in. Put Gomez on my shortlist anyway now, I suppose, when it finally loads. Nelka, no. Remy, I want at the end of the season. Gignac. Pujol. This guy. Let's put Gomez on shorts. Guys, if you want me to sign someone, leave it in the comments below and I'll look into them. They have to be French, obviously. It doesn't matter what age, what position. If you want me to buy them, put them in. We've got a few days left in the transfer window, so come on, put them in and we'll try and get them. Transfer offer accepted for Taraval. Let's offer him a contract. Give him what he wants for 3 years. Montpellier, still unacceptable. We'll give you a bit more cash then. Basically, Harper's just a throw-in because I want him off my squad. I want his wage off my squad, basically. New York Red Bulls accepted how much I'm offering for Thierry Henry. I may pull out with this deal, in all honesty. We'll offer him a contract and stuff, but I think I could get them cheaper. I'm probably going to pull out and offer a new one at transfer deadline day. But we'll see if he accepts our contract anyway, so we can at least see if we can get him for what we want. We want him for 2, not 1 year, so just have a look. So we've got Chelsea in the next game, guys, so maybe a very tough game, in all honesty. I'm not really expecting us to win, so I hope you've all enjoyed the episode and enjoyed the game. Tell me what you guys want, what you think of everything. Peace out, YouTube. We're heading into overtime.